Hi everyone, it's Krista and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're not new, hello again. So this is my channel. I love to do DIYs on a budget, Dollar Tree DIYs, thrift flips, farmhouse and rustic, wreaths, and seasonal decor. So if you like what you see here, you know what to do. Hit that red subscribe button. Also leave me comments. I love to hear what you guys think. And also give me a thumbs up. It helps my channel. You can also follow me over on Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok, and Facebook. And I also have an Etsy shop where I show you everything that's in here is usually in my Etsy shop. So you want to check that out. It's down in the description box below. I also do live auctions on Why Not app, if you guys haven't heard of it, but I always list it on Facebook or on YouTube and let you know when I'm having those. And that link will be down below as well. But today is all about doing Christmas in July, and me and my friend Brenda from Rustic and Lace are the hosts. More about that in a minute, but first, let's get into DIY number one. So the first DIY, I am going to be using these paints. I'm also going to be using some dark wax. And this is a snowman that I cut out of my laser cutter. And I'm going to be using some paste and also some white paste. And then these stencils that I got from Amazon. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start, there's the snowman. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start painting the snowman white, of course. And I use a sponge from Dollar Tree to paint. So if you're new here, you'll be seeing me use those a lot. And then I did the little bow because he's going to be holding, like, it looks like a candy cane, but it's kind of not a candy cane. I can't really explain it. But also the hat is black, and then I'm going to be doing his boots in black as well. And I'm just using regular black acrylic paint to do those. Now this is kind of like a big-footed snowman. It's really whimsical. That's how it's supposed to look. So usually I sell these as kits where you can create them yourself, but this one I won't have in my shop yet because it's July, but I will be having in my shop soon, and I also will be selling the snowman as well. But if you'd like to purchase it sooner, you can leave me a message anywhere, and I will, on any one of my platforms, you can DM me, and I will put it out there for you so that you can get it now if you want. So next I'm using the chalk paste and my little squeegee, and I'm going to do on the top of the hat this Merry Christmas stencil that I have. This is a screen stencil. You can get these stencils on Amazon. And I also have an Amazon shop link where you can look for these in my shop. Next I'm doing north and then pole. So I'm using a little piece of this stencil, not the whole thing. And I put north on one of the boots and then pull on the other one. I'm also going to be using these little snowman, these little snowflake stencils, and I'm going to put those on the bottom part of the boot, and I'm also going to be doing a couple on the hat as well. And if you go a little over with your chalk paste, you could just go around it and paint it with a little brush and go right over it, and you'll be all good. See, I got a little bit on the boot, but that's okay. It's an easy fix. And then I'm just going to pull those up. And I love the way the snowman turned out. He's so cute. Now you can also use snow text and put that on the top of the boot as well. That would, on top of the boots and on top of the hat. That would look super cool as well. I might do that now that I just thought of it at the end. But I really like the snow text. I love using it. And then I did the little candy cane stencil that I had over the top of that. I think this is supposed to be a present, but I made it look like a candy cane. And then I use wood super glue from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just gluing all the pieces together now. And we're going to build our snowman. I also went around the edges and made it look a little worn. I like that look. If you don't like that look, you could skip this step altogether, but I really like the worn vintage look. Old look. I did it around the boots as well. And now I'm going to take this little piece and put it over the top of that other piece that we made look like a little candy cane, but it's really a present. And then I'm going to also wear, sand his nose as well. And I run around the edges with that too, with the dark wax. I wanted it to look a little worn. And this dark wax, it goes a long way. I use a stencil brush to apply it to the ends, and you just rub it with your finger. It's really easy to use. Now I'm just going to place everything where I want it. I'm also going to put the little bow at the top of our long present. And then I had this little enamel dot, I guess you could call it, in black. I stuck that in the middle of my bow. And then I'm going to start building him. So the present's going to kind of go in between like that. And then I got the nose and then the hat. Now for these snowmen, you would have to do your own eyes. Now this is a little spacer that I use. It's just a round circle disc of wood. And I just place those down so that my foot's not kind of flopping because I have the present in between. And I want to make sure that my, snow boots for my snowman are going to stay down nice and flat. So now I'm just gluing everything down. And this wood super glue works great, you guys, from the Dollar Tree. You don't have to buy that expensive stuff. Next, I'm using the bottom of a really thick paintbrush to make my eyes. I just dipped it in some black paint and dipped it onto my snowman. Next, I'm going to be making one of these raggy bows, I call them. It's just a striped white and black fabric. I just ripped it in a strips, and then I just kind of looped it back and forth in my little small bow dabra. And I just put some twine down the center of it so I could tie it. You just loop it back and forth. I just used 2 strips. I just want a small bow. I don't want a real big one. And then I'm just going to tie in a knot with my jute twine. And I'm going to glue that kind of at the top there of my boot on the one side. And then I put a rusty bell in the center. And I'm going to be using some of this greenery that I got. I believe it's from Dollar Tree. I always get my stuff. I try to get it from Dollar Tree if they have nice stuff. They're just little branches, and I just stuck them on each side of my bow, and then 2 little rusty bells in the center. Next, I always have these little shelf sitter pieces that I put on the back of my shelf sitter so that you don't have to worry about them flopping over, and it sits up nice in wherever you want to put them on your table or wherever you like to put them. And there it is, you guys. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. So like I said, it's Christmas in July, guys. 6 more months. Well, actually 5 more months till Christmas. And the host is me and myself and my friend Rustic and Lace DIY. And also there will be a playlist. Go check out her link and the link to the playlist down below in the description box. Everyone's going to be doing this, so it's going to be super fun. I like doing Christmas in July. And now I'm going to be using a Dollar Tree round, I guess it's an ornament, I guess you could say, but because it has the hole in it already. But I'm going to be, these are really thick though, these ones. And I'm going to be painting it white. I'm going to be making another snowman, and this one's going to be an ornament, or you can put it up in your shelf if you like as well. I got this hat from, I believe it was Walmart last year. They always have like a 98-cent section. And it's a fabric hat, and I thought this would be perfect to make an ornament. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm just gluing it down to the top part of that round wood piece. And then the sides, I just kind of pinched and put some glue there. I'm going to make some dots again with the back of my brush for the eyes. And then this little nose, that comes in a pack at Hobby Lobby. I had those in my stash, so I used one of those. And then I just made a face with my paintbrush, and then I did little rosy cheeks on the sides with some paint. You could use paint, or you could use a stamp, pink stamping, and I just made those on the side. And then I tied a little knot on the top with some fabric, a little rusty bell, and that's it, you guys. He was super simple to make. Let me know what you think about that one down below in the comments. So the next one is our number 3. I cut this out in my laser cutter, and it is a gingerbread man. So I'm going to be using those paints. I'm also going to be using some chalk paste again and these stencils. First, I'm going to paint the snowman with some, I believe it's nutmeg I used paint to do the gingerbread face and his little hands that's going to be holding a candy cane. And then I'm going to paint his hat with a hunter green color. These little kits are really easy to make and put together, you guys. I love making these. And then the candy cane, I painted it red first. I'm just using any red color, but I believe this was Christmas red, it's called. And then the little part on the hat I did with a warm white color, and the little stick that he's going to be put on is also in that warm white color. These paints I all get from, they're just folk art paints, decor paints from Hobby Lobby. So now I'm using a popsicle stick and I'm making the lines. I'm just making sure they're spaced evenly. So I just used a popsicle stick to make those lines in a pencil. Then I went back in with my little brush here and I'm just going in with that warm white color, and I'm going to color in every other one with the white so it looks like a candy cane. And I just went really slow and carefully to make those lines. But using the popsicle stick really helped. And it makes it so they're evenly spaced. It was a little tricky on the top part though, where the candy can swirls. That one was a little tricky, but I did manage it. Next, I'm going to be using the stencil for the top part of his hat, and I'm going to use Holiday Bake Shop. And I did that in a red chalk paste. I love using these stencils because they're so easy. And then I used this stencil. It's like a distressed, like chipped wood look. And I used the paste in brown. And I went over the bottom portion of the hat with that just to give it a little whimsical look, I guess, or old look. And then I went around the edges with that dark wax again. This is in my Amazon shop if you are interested in getting it. I did list it there. And I also did the stick that the gingerbread is going to be on. I wanted everything to look old and vintage. And I also went around the candy cane as well. But as you can see, I'm using a baby wipe when I get too much, and it wipes it right up, guys. And I also went around the hat as well. I just wanted everything to look a little bit old. But like I said, if you don't like this, this look, just leave it any way you like. This is just what I like. And then I also went around the hands. Now this, I went a little bit heavier around the hands and the head because I wanted it to kind of be out a little bit more, stand out a little bit more, I guess is what I would say. And I did that around really deeper and darker. So you could go as light or as dark as you want with this stuff. So, and I went around his whole head with it as well. I'm going to show you how cute we make his face because it's really super cute. I watched somebody else do it and I just love the way it looks, so I did it too. So now we're just going to start putting them together, and I use my wood super glue, and I'm just going to glue down all the pieces. So I glued the top part of the hat, and now I'm going to glue down the whole hat to his head. Now we're going to make the face. So what I did is I used the bottom part of the brush again to make the eyes. Super easy. And then I went in and I used my paint pen, I guess you could call it. And I did the eyebrows, just little lines for eyebrows. And then I gave him some rosy cheeks with my Distress Oxide. Though the other one was lighter, so I went in with the darker one that I had. And then I made his little mouth. I just used my paint pen. And then I also did little red dots and then little white dots for the inside of his eyes and the cheeks. And then I used my paint pen as well to go around the sides and just do some wiggly marks for like the frosting on the gingerbread man. And I did his little hands too. just little squiggly marks. It just makes it look so much more whimsical, and I thought it was really cute. And then I glued down the candy cane, and we're going to put it so that he's holding the candy cane with his little hands underneath. And then I just glued him down on top. Then I made a bow again. I didn't show me making this rag bow, but I used red fabric and some white fabric and some red striped fabric. And then I glued that down on his hat, and I put a couple little more rusty bells again. You can get the rusty bells. I get them on Amazon as well. And then I just use a little bit of greenery, Christmas greenery, underneath the bow, just to give it a little something else. And I think he turned out so cute, you guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. This one will also be available at Christmas time in my shop, but if you want it sooner, let me know. And I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you go check everyone out. Check out Brenda, my other host. She's awesome, you guys. And everyone is awesome. So go check them out. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to go check out my Why Not. I do auctions on there, you guys, where I sell things a little bit cheaper than my Etsy shop. Also check that out. And I want to thank you guys for watching. And as always, remember, stay crafty. Bye.